All right, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. We'll begin in a comfortable seated position, whether that's an easy seat or if your preference is butterfly legs, more restorative than active. So restorative meaning that the toes are coming further away from the body than the heels coming closer towards the pelvic region. If your hips are extremely tight, you can take either blocks or wedge some blankets or pillows to support those thighs. And if it's really tender on the glutes or the sits bones, you can sit on a blanket, a block, or even that pillow, whichever works best for you. You're ready? Go ahead and begin breathing in through your nose. And as you exhale, release and sigh that breath out. Just a couple of cleansing inhales and exhales, allowing yourself to arrive in this space within the four corners of your room and the four corners of your mat. Just create this sanctuary for yourself, time to release and let go and be present. Just another 2 to 3 inhales and exhales. In through the nostrils and out of the mouth if that feels really nice for you. But if you're ready to begin your Ujjayi or that victorious breath, go ahead and begin by taking the tongue, licking the lips and sealing them to one another. As you seal the lips to one another, you'll begin to breathe in and out of your nose. As you begin breathing in through your nostrils and out of the nostrils, you'll constrict the back of the throat. And as you constrict the back of the throat, that breath is dragged back and forth, creating this oceanic sound. If you have a tight or a tender neck this morning, you're welcome to drop the chin towards the chest as you let your breath go. And on your inhale, you can tilt it back up, or you can just stay right where you're at and trace the collarbone side to side, whichever you see fit. Or if your preference is to stay nice and tall, then go ahead and just keep that gaze neutral, even if your eyes are closed. Your hands are anywhere from your thighs down to perhaps the ankles, still not folding over, so don't reach for the toes just yet. Take a moment here to scan from the crown of the head down to the very ends of the toes, observing with love, without judgment. If any one part of your body is tight or tender, just acknowledge it and accept it for the moment. And then from here, we'll draw a full cleansing breath in through our nose. And you'll exhale, release to sigh that breath out. If the chin is still towards the chest, on your inhale, neutralize that gaze, looking forward. Eyes can remain closed, or you can flutter your eyes open. As you take your next breath in, circle sweep those arms up towards the sky. Let the palms kiss over your head. Drop or relax the shoulders away from your ears, and then exhale, bring your hands into prayer and at your heart space. On the next breath in, pull those shoulders up. Exhale, roll those shoulders down. Inhale, begin to sweep those arms back up towards the sky, knitting your ribs here. You'll exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, lifting up. Oh, excuse me. I might need a sneeze. Excuse me. Inhale, extend those arms up. And then exhale, release that right hand down to that right side. If that left knee lifted up, try to relax it down or allow yourself to create a higher bridge or a higher place for that leg to rest. Breath in, breath out, shoulders away from the ears, extending the left fingertips towards that right side. And you don't have to lean over so far if any part of the body doesn't feel comfortable. As you take your next breath in, return back to center, and we'll exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. If you extended the block, you can lower it down, reaching those arms up, releasing that block down, and then exhale, left hand to that left side, right fingertips follow. One side might be more open than the other, so just make those adjustments as you see fit for your body. Breathe in through the nose and out of your nose. As you take your next inhale, both arms reach back up, and as you exhale, heads of the elbows will pull down. Inhale, we'll lift those arms up, and then exhale, we'll fold the body forward, allowing our hands to rest or wrap around those ankles or around the toes now. Go ahead and exhale, dome the spine, catting it up, bringing the chin towards the chest, flossing that area through the body, and then inhale, bend your elbows, drop your chest down, lift your chin and up towards the sky. Exhale, doming. Back is up, chin tucks towards the chest. Inhale, your belly starts to drop down and you'll lift that gaze up towards the ceiling, only as high as your body permits. Once more, exhale, dome the spine, maybe extend the arms nice and straight. Inhale, begin to release the navel down towards the spine, pulling the shoulder heads back, lifting your chin up. And then last one, you'll exhale it back. And you'll inhale, neutralize, sliding your hands along those thighs. As the hands come along the thighs, bring those knees together, hands to the back, and windshield wiper those legs from one side of the room to the other side of the room. When you're ready to return back into your easy seat, cross that opposite leg over if you were in easy seat, or return back into that butterfly position. As you return back into either position, inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, elbow heads pull down. Inhale, extend those arms up. And then exhale, twist open towards that right side. Left hand on that right thigh. And if your right hand around the back of the mat is too much, you can also place it on the thigh instead. So it's a softer twist. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out of the nose. Just a few inhales and exhales here. Allowing that softness through the shoulder. Continue to peel it open, even if your hand isn't behind you. Start to pull the elbow head in and back. You'll feel that scapula opening up as it begins to loosen. You may be able to look over the shoulder a little more. Taking 2 more inhales here. And we'll release and then inhale, looking back towards the front, circle sweep those arms up. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, lifting nice and high. Exhale, twisting towards that left side. Again, make all those soft adjustments. Hand is anywhere it's comfortable, both right and that left. Start to stretch or open up the collarbone. Doesn't mean you have to wring the body out completely, but you're just opening up, maybe hugging the elbow in, pulling the elbow head back, resting the hand either behind you or on that left hip. Reach through the crown of the head, relax the shoulders away from your ears. 2 more inhales if you can. Last breath in here. And then you can release that breath. Inhale, look back towards the front, sweep your arms up towards the sky, and exhale, hinge at your waist, bow the body forward. As you bow forward, releasing those palms anywhere it's comfortable. And once more, we're going to do that little bit of flossing through the nerves. So on that exhale, you can press the palms or tint the fingers into the ground as you dome your spine and tuck your chin towards your chest. On that inhale, you can release the elbow heads down, tilt the chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale, dome your spine. You can use the earth to press the palms into the mat. Inhale, lifting up, simulated cat-cow pose. Exhale, dome it back. Inhale, lift it up. And then that last time, you'll exhale to take it back. And then you'll inhale, begin to neutralize that spine, sliding the hands to the outside edges of your thighs. If you're in butterfly, legs together, hands to your sides, windshield wiper those legs from one edge to the opposite edge. And then when you're ready, go ahead and work your way onto all fours. So bringing the hands and knees down on the mat. As your hands and knees come down to the mat, you can continue to wiggle the body from one side to the opposite side. Big toes are coming together next. Knees go out as wide as possible. And exhale, slip the hips back, releasing into a child's pose. Extend the palms towards the front. If you have really tight hips, tight low spine, you might want to place a blanket or something to rest the glutes on versus forcing your hips down towards the heels. Release that space between your eyebrows down on the mat. If your nose gets in the way, sometimes mine does, you can stack your hands, or if it doesn't reach, I'll stack my hands and then just rest that space there. Massaging from side to side. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out of the nose. Just let the body sink and melt here. Then if you happen to have your hands stacked, go ahead and release. Arms reach forward. Keep the hips towards the heels, whether they're anchored or not. Elbow heads rest on the mat. We'll begin by taking our left index finger to that right thumb, giving it a little stretch. Work your way to the next finger or that index finger. Travel to the middle finger. Ring finger next. And then that little pinky finger. Once you've completed that series, point your fingertips down, pressing the back of that right hand with the left hand. Curl your fingers towards your thumb or curl your fingers towards your wrist. And then we'll switch it out. Thumb on that left side with the right index finger. Moving on to the next. Working your way until you get to that little pinky finger. Continue to sit the hips back, releasing the hips a little bit more. Fingertips point down, then begin to curl your fingers towards your wrist. As you take your next breath in, we'll release a couple of circles with that right and left wrist. Palms are down. Inhale, hips lift up. Knees come back into that neutral position or stacked on all fours. We'll wiggle the body side to side, curling the toes under. We'll exhale, slide the weight of the body back to stretch the bottom of our feet. Staying here for a few inhales and exhales with the option of rolling the little pinky toes out on an exhale and rolling the toes back in on an inhale. You can stay in any one position for as long as you'd like, or you can continue to move fluidly. Use the breath to lift up, and as you release the breath out, sink it back. Just a few more. Do your best not to be overly aggressive. Finalizing an inhale and an exhale. We'll inhale, slide forward. Lift your feet off the mat, a couple of circles with those ankles if you'd like in each direction, and then take the tops of the feet down to the mat and pat them back and forth just to bring back a little bit of sensation. From there, curl those toes under, pull your shoulder heads back, grip into the pads of your finger, and then allow yourself to zip the ribs up. And inhale, take that cow pose, retracting your shoulders down, tilting the chest and chin up. Stay here in this cow-like pose from your shoulders down, but as you exhale, take your chin towards your chest. Inhale, looking back up. Exhale, just the chin towards the chest, and it may not connect, and that's okay. Inhale up. Last time, you'll exhale. Stay here. This time, keep the chin towards the chest, and as you exhale, dome your spine, cat it up. Press the palms into the mat. Feel your back lift up towards the ceiling, and then now from here, keep the body as is from the shoulders down, but inhale, tilt the chin up a little. Exhale, curl it back in towards your chest. Two more. Inhale up. Exhale to the chin, chin to the chest. And once more, inhale up as far as your body allows. And then exhale, chin to the chest. On that next breath in, tops of your feet press into the mat. Inhale, take a traditional cow pose. On that exhale, slide the weight of the body back. Inhale, scoop your heart forward, lift the body up for a roller coaster cow. Exhale, dome that spine, slide the hips back. Two more. Inhale, thread the heart forward. Exhale, dome your spine, slide your hips back. And once more, inhale. And that final exhale, sliding back. And then we'll inhale, rise back up into a neutral position or that tabletop position. Let yourself stay anchored through the palms, curl your right toes under, and then inhale, your left leg floats up. Cross this left leg over towards that right side of the room, squeezing the thighs and looking over your right shoulder as you let your breath go. You're welcome to make any soft adjustments you need for your hands, the placement where they are. Pushing this left hip over towards that left edge, you'll draw a breath in and you'll let that breath go. On your next inhale, keep your legs the way that they are, but look to the top of your mat. Adjust your hands and bend that left knee behind your right knee. As you come to the center of the mat, take your legs, spread them out towards, or your feet out towards the edges of the mat. Work the weight of the body back. Once your thighs and your belly connect, start to bow your chest down and walk your hands towards the top of the mat. However, if it's super tight, then stay elevated. Instead, slide your hands a little bit closer and release this right glute down. If you want to drop the glutes all the way to the back of the ground, that's completely fine. And if not, remain right where you are. Take a full belly breath in here. Let that breath go. Just a few more. decompressing through the inhales and the exhales. If at any point you feel like you're forcing yourself to do something, perhaps you've gone too far. So just kind of back off and let the body naturally release itself. The intention here is to be soft. We're not forcing anything. If you need to remain here, a couple more inhales and exhales, that's fine. But if you're ready to rise up, press your palms into the ground, lift your chest up, walk your hands towards those shin bones so that you can release the glutes down to the mat. Once the glutes release down to the mat, you'll begin to lift that right knee so that it's directly in the center of the heart, and that foot can be to that left side. If this is too much, you can bring that leg in front of you instead, or if curling this left leg to the right side is too much, just extend it out. You have all these different options. Draw a breath in though. Take that left arm out and exhale. Wrap this left arm around your right leg so that you can look over that right side or that right shoulder. If your right hip is lifting up, drop that right hip down. Maybe using your right thumb, allow yourself to release or relax that hip flexor. Breath in and a breath out, shoulders away from the ears. Collarbone is still wide. 2 more inhales here. And exhales here. Finalize that last breath in and that last breath out. On our next inhale, we'll look to the top of the mat. Exhale, twist and look over towards that left side, releasing the low back. Inhale, we'll come back to center. As we return to center, take that right leg, step it forward. Maybe bring both right and the left hand over to that left side. Lift your hips up, coming into a low lunge. So begin to walk this left leg back, top of the foot on the mat or curling those toes. Fingertips continue to frame that right foot. Hug and wrap this left hip towards the front. Draw a breath in here. Hug this right leg towards your body. So don't let the foot come out to the side just yet. Full inhale here. Full exhale here. Just a few more. Releasing the hip. If your psoas is really tight, you may notice it there as well. If you feel like you're doming your spine, see if you can look forward instead. Finalize 1 more inhale and exhale here. Then on our next breath in, slowly begin to rise up. Your fingertips might need a slide. You might need to slide that foot out as well. Bring that right hand towards that left side. Walk your right foot towards that left edge. Point your toes like you're creating a little pizza shape. And then inhale, begin to lift and rise all the way up. As you lift and rise all the way up, exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, the arms reach up. And on that exhale, that right hand releases to the right side, and you'll exhale, take the left fingertips towards that right edge. You can also rest your forearm on the thigh if you prefer. Keep the heart opened up, breath in and breath out. Just a few more inhales and exhales here, and then we'll start some dynamic movement. Right now we're static, but we'll go ahead and start some dynamic movement. Finalize that last breath in and that last breath out. On your next inhale, guide the spine neutrally. The left arm reaches back up. And on that exhale, slide that left hand behind you if possible. And then take your chin towards your chest and lean your fingertips towards that left side. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, chin to the chest, leaning towards that right side. Inhale, back up. Once more, exhale, chin towards the chest, arm behind your back, fingertips towards that right side. Then inhale will come forward. Once we find that forward, this time, that arm will come towards the front, and we'll exhale, bring the back of the head towards the back of the mat, extend and lean over. If this is too much for you, then just stay neutral. Last time, exhale it back, and then inhale, bring it forward. Circle sweep your arms back up towards the sky when you're ready. Walk that right foot back to center. Exhale, frame that front foot. Curl your back toes, lift that back knee, sink the hips low. And then on your time, slide this right leg back, bending both knees as you come into downward facing dog to march and paddle it out. Lift the hips up nice and high. Draw that breath in. Let that breath go. Then in this position, drop down to your knees. And as you drop down to the knees, lift that left leg up. Few circles with this left hip in each direction. So the knee twirls front and backwards. And then return that knee back down towards the mat. As you return the knee down towards the mat, 3 rounds of cat-cows. So inhale, toes tuck under, drop the belly down, tilt the chest and chin up. Exhale, tops of the feet onto the mat, dome that spine, curling it up. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale to cat it back up. And once more, inhale, cow pose. And exhale to cat it back up. On our next breath in, we'll neutralize. And as we neutralize, bring those knees close to one another, tuck your left toes under, right leg goes behind you. Cross this right leg to that right leg over to the left side. Press the hip towards that right side, look over your left shoulder. Let your hands move if they need to, so adjust the stance so that your shoulders aren't up towards your ears. Breathe in through your nose and out of the nose. So today, just working with releasing the psoas, the hip flexors. If you have any issues with low spine, this should help with it as well. Of course, if anything feels uncomfortable or there's any sensations of tingling, you may have gone too far, so reverse and back off. One more breath here. Letting that breath go. Keep your legs the way that they are. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Bending that right knee behind the left. Let your legs or let your feet come out to the edges of the mat. Breathe in through the nose, looking forward. And then when you're ready, exhale, start to release the chest onto the thighs. Left knee lifts up. Glutes can hover, or if you prefer to sit them down, that's fine. If you've gone too far, you may need to lift the heart up and then just let your fingertips rest. It's up to you. Find your edge, find where you can breathe, but you definitely feel that sensation to where you could release and go deeper and deeper with time. Taking 2, maybe 3 more inhales and exhales here. Finalizing, you'll inhale, look to the top of the mat, slide your fingertips towards your shin bones until you anchor your glutes down to the ground. Lifting or letting the sole of that left foot cross over towards that right. We'll inhale, take that right arm out to the right side. Exhale, wrap it around this left leg until you're able to twist and look over that opposite edge. Breathe in through your nose and out of the nose. Feel yourself relax this left hip down. Lift through the crown, spread the collarbone. You've got one more inhale here. And that exhale. As you take your next breath in, look towards the front, continue to twist towards that right side to release the low back. Releasing when you're ready, looking forward. Take your left leg, step it towards the top of the mat. Your hands can come towards that right side so that you can lift your body up until you make your way into that low lunge. Extend the right leg behind you, adjust the knee. Breathe in through the nose here. Maybe lift up onto your peace fingers and then exhale, just release. Let the frame come close towards this right thigh, left thigh, and send this right hip forward. Keep the knee in line with the femur so you're not letting the knee pull out towards that left side on this left leg. Breathe in and out of the nose if you can. If you need to lift the ground up towards you, place your palms on something. If you have the wall, you can also use your wall, or if you have a little table, that's fine. Breathe in and out of the nose. Finalizing one more inhale. And that exhale will slowly begin by lifting up. As we lift up, fingertips press into the ground. The heart is a little more erect. Sliding your foot if you need to back. And as you slide that foot back, take it out towards this left edge. If your fingertips are down on the mat, bring left hand towards that right side. Point the toes slightly with a little angle towards that left side. When you're ready, inhale, circle sweep your arms up. Find that that right and that left hip flexor are pointing forward. You'll exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, lift the arms up. You're strong through the core. Exhale, left hand down towards that left side or left hand on that left thigh and right fingertips reach over. We're opening up through the hip flexor, through the psoas. And if you have any issues with your low back, hopefully this is finding a little bit of release. Breathe in through the nose here. Breathe out of the nose here. Just one more in this static position. And then on that inhale, we rise back up, keeping that right arm up towards the sky. You'll exhale, drop your chin towards your chest, extending the fingertips towards that left side. Inhale, neutralize the gaze. Remember, the arm is either in line or behind. Exhale, chin down, lean towards that left. Inhale, come back to center. Once more, exhale, chin down, arm reaching towards that left side. On our next breath in, we'll come back to center. The arm comes forward slightly. You'll exhale, drop the chin back or the head back and take the arm over towards that left side. Inhale, neutralize. Exhale with one motion if possible. Inhale to neutralize. And exhale. Last time over. Inhale back to center. When you're ready, releasing your hands down. As you release those hands down, go ahead and slide that foot back. As you slide that foot back, curl your back toes, lift that back knee. As you lift that back knee, sink into the pose. And only when it's okay for your body, slide that left foot back into a downward facing dog. March and paddle your feet out, breathing in through the nose and out of the nose. One more breath in and a breath out. Then we'll release down to our knees. As we release down to the knees, right leg hikes up, tracing those circles with the knee to bring fluidity into the hip socket. Returning your knee down to the ground. Hands stay anchored onto the mat on those knees unless you want to come into plank pose off the knees. Then slide the weight of the body forward, pull the elbows in, lower your chest all the way down. As your chest comes down, adjust the body. If you have a really tender back today, take those legs out a little bit wider. Otherwise, keep thighs close to one another. Slide your hands out beyond your mat. Either press those palms down or fingertips into the ground, either or. Inhale, lift up, shoulders connect behind the body. So those shoulder blades come together. Collarbone is wide. Some people can lift up higher than this. Others need to stay down a little bit lower. If you prefer your arms forward in Sphinx Pose, that's perfectly fine because we are going to stay up for a couple of inhales and exhales. Try to keep the hip points down. So if you lift it up right through this area where your hip is up, drop the hip down, and then those arms maybe need to lower down a little bit. Draw a breath in here. Let that breath go. If you happen to be up on the body or on those palms, bring your elbows down and then find your way into that Sphinx Pose. As you find that Sphinx Pose, we're going to do a couple of little exercises on both the right and that left leg to find more opening through our hip flexor today and releasing that low spine. So breathing in through your nose, the motion is to curl the heel in towards the body and release the heel down. But the second element of it is, can you exhale, bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, we'll open up. Exhale, we'll curl it in. Inhale, we'll open up. And if you started with right leg, that's fine. Or if you started with left leg, it doesn't matter. We're going to do both. 2 more inhales on each side. And if you'd like to stay a little longer with the chin down towards the chest and the leg curled up, that's fine. And if not, you can continue that fluid movement. Finalize 1 more inhale and exhale. And then inhale, release. As we release, we are going to decompress that low back. So send those elbows out to the sides. Take your left ear down on the ground or right, and then slide those legs from one edge to the opposite edge. Maybe even circles if you prefer. Coming back to center, looking towards the front. Bring yourself back into that Sphinx pose. Adjust the body, pull the shoulder heads back. Keep the hip points grounded into the mat. Breathe in through the nose and out of the nose. And if you want to start with that opposite leg, just curling it in and extending it long, that's fine. But if you're ready to begin the head motion with the leg curl at the same time, breathe in. And then exhale, chin to the chest, leg to the glute. Inhale, we'll open up. Exhale, we'll bring it down. Inhale, opening. Just a few more. You can go with your own breath, your own pace. If your hamstring is really tight, maybe don't curl the leg up so high. It can be just partially. Finalizing maybe 2 more. And that last one, we'll slowly begin to release. As we release, again, the elbow heads go out to the edges of the mat. This time that right ear or that left ear, if you took right first. Bend those knees, windshield wiper, right side to left side. Once your low back feels fine, plant those palms down to your breastbone, pull your elbows in. Inhale for that plank pose, taking the knees out a little bit wider, wiggling your hips from right side to left side. 3 rounds of figure 8. So begin with your hips towards your heels and then inhale. Bring your heart towards that top right corner over to the left, and then take your hips towards that back right corner and then to the left. So trace that number 8 in this one particular direction, and then we'll switch it out in a minute. You're ready to switch out, hips to the back, and then inhale, chest to the right, left side, and then the right side. Last breath in and last round around. And then we'll find our way into tabletop position. From that tabletop position, tuck the toes under, lift your knees up if you'd like. Tilt your hips back up into that downward facing dog. March and paddle your feet out, bending that right knee, straightening the left, back and forth. Breathe in through your nose here and out of the nose here. Maybe lift up really high onto the balls of the feet. Heels can be up as high as you'd like. And then exhale, relax the heels down towards the ground. They don't have to anchor, but if they do, that's fine. On your next inhale, looking towards the top of the mat, lift the heels, bend those knees, walk your feet in between your thumbs as you exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, you'll rise up halfway. Exhale, you'll melt it back down. Separate the feet as wide as you'd like, perhaps wider than hip width distance. Bend those knees as generous as possible, and then grab your elbows for ragdoll. Looking towards the back of the room versus towards your arms or the top of the mat. Swing your body from side to side. You can straighten those legs if it feels nice, or you can remain just the way you are. Taking 3 to 4 inhales here. Stillness or swaying side to side. If you're ready to find your way back to stillness or back to center, release your hands to the mat. Walk your feet back towards one another, a soft bend in those knees, and then we'll inhale, reverse and rise. Sweeping those arms to the sides, to the sky, breath in, palms kiss, and then exhale, hands into prayer at your heart space. Draw a breath in, pull those shoulders up. Let that breath go, drop those shoulders back down. Inhale, circle sweep those arms up. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees, palms down to the mat. Step back with that left foot. As you step back with that left foot, walk your right foot towards your left wrist. Pause there. If you need to, slide your foot back about 3 to 4 inches, and then drop this right knee towards that right wrist. Let the left knee release to the mat. Toes walk back on your left foot. If this is intense, take a blanket, whatever you need to support your right hip. Find yourself here in this pigeon pose, upright first. Breathing in and breathing out, finding the release through the hip flexor, but strong through your low back. On your time, you can begin to drop the forearms down to the ground, finding that sleeping pigeon as you release your head, if you can, down to the mat, or stack those palms, or just stay up. Many times this is a very tight position to be in, especially because our bodies are accustomed to driving more like a railroad track with our running. And the knee out towards this right side, sometimes that glute's really tight. So if that's your case, you can walk the right foot closer towards the left hip instead. You can rise up. You can also come onto your back if that's your preference. And you'll just thread the needle instead. The more you allow yourself to surrender, the greater benefits that you can achieve. Releasing that connective tissue and that fascia. If your edge is not as far down to the ground, appreciate that. Sometimes that hypermobility is something that works against you. We do need mobility, but sometimes not quite as much. Let yourself stay here for 2 more inhales. Only when you're ready, those palms come back down to the mat. You'll lift the frame back up, curl the back toes, walk that left knee forward. Either step back into downward dog or tabletop with right leg up to the sky or to the side, taking those circles to release the glute. Breathe in through the nose here, breathe out of the nose here. And then release the knee down, swing the hips right side to left side. On your breath and time, tuck the toes under, shift the weight of the body back, knees float off the mat until you're able to tilt your hips up for that inverted V. March, paddle the feet out. Notice what's going on with this right hamstring, right calf, even the sole of the foot. And then pause. Bend your left knee. Try to drop that right heel down. Push that right hip towards that right side. Breath in, breath out. 2 more if you can. Letting it go when you're ready. On your breath and your time, come back into a high or off the heels. So downward facing dog onto the balls of the feet. Looking forward, bend those knees, walk or step your feet in between your thumbs. Exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, lift it up halfway. Draw the belly button up towards the spine. Exhale, release the frame down. Separate your feet once more, hip width distance apart or further. Grab those elbows for ragdoll and swing yourself from one side of the mat to the opposite. Bending those knees, releasing that low spine, letting your head get super heavy. Another inhale, and then that exhale. Releasing the fingertips down to the mat. Heel toe your feet back towards one another. Inhale, rising all the way up, arms fan to the sides to the sky until the palms kiss, and then exhale, hands into prayer and at your heart space. Inhale, release, sweep those arms back up. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, lift your arms up, and then exhale, forward fold, palms down to the mat. As you take those palms down to the mat, we'll step back with that right foot. Once that right foot goes down, start to walk your left foot to that right wrist. Remember, you can slide it back a few inches, releasing the knee behind that left wrist. Once you're there, right knee is down to the mat. Walk your toes back until you're comfortable. Adjust and anchor the sits bones or anchor that left glute if you need to. Breathe in through your nose. Stay here as long as you need to until you're ready to fold forward. Flex the left foot if possible, protecting the tendons, the knee joint. Find your edge and just be. Soften the features of the face, especially if you're clenching the jaw. A lot of times when I can't hold my body all the way down, I might take my thumbs and massage the jaw, the mandible area through the temples, just to try to find more of that release, that relaxation. It's amazing with our mask, if you're wearing them for long periods of times, the position that you change on the features of your face is because you're holding that mask up. You can create big O's with the mouth and then release. And if you're not there, that's okay. You can always just remain in pigeon pose, releasing. Do your best to take 2 more inhales here. Your breath in time. Inhale, palms down to the mat, chest lifts up, tuck the left right toes, walk that knee forward, and either downward facing dog or tabletop with circles on this left side. Go ahead and release, extend for that downward facing dog or tabletop, and inhale, plank down to the knees, and then we'll exhale, release our chest all the way down. Arms reach out to the sides of the mat, either letter T or cactus form. Right ear down on the mat, bend those knees, windshield wiper, right side to left side. Come back to center and switch it. Left ear down, windshield wiper, right side to left side. And then releasing, legs extend nice and long, palms come down to our breastbone. Inhale, we'll rise up, and exhale, we'll take child's pose. Breathe in through the nose here and out of the nose. Rising up on your time, work your way onto your back. So you come down to your back, just rolling the vertebrae down, tucking the knees in towards the body, letting your legs sway side to side, or keeping the soles of the feet down and letting your legs sway side to side. A lot of times if your feet are down on the mat and you're windshield wipering those legs, if you have tight IT band, that attachment point where the greater trochanter resides, you might hit that little point and it might feel good. It could even be your piriformis. When you're ready, releasing, the feet are down on the mat. Happy baby on your time. Grabbing the blades of the feet. And if it's not accessible for you today, just take your hands on the outside edges, wrap those hands around the hamstring, and then you can either interlace your fingers or just hang on to those legs. It doesn't matter as long as it's comfortable for you. If you'd like to extend the legs like a half V or that full V, your choice. If you prefer to bring the soles of the feet together and come into a butterfly position, that's okay too. You'll stretch the inner thighs a little bit more. Whatever you've decided on, you're here for another few inhales and exhales. Releasing. And as we release, soles of the feet down to the mat, extend that right leg nice and long. Take that left leg towards the top as well. Extend and straighten the body into a long morning stretch. And then on that exhale, your hands come down to the sides, cactus or letter T, bending the right and the left knee. You'll lift the knees off the mat or the feet off the mat and exhale, supine twist, knees to the right. Keeping that left shoulder blade down. Releasing, we'll come back to center and you'll exhale, switch it out. Legs fall over, knees fall over towards that left side. So you take your next breath in, we'll come back to center. Lift your head off the ground once those knees are in center and give yourself a nice squeeze. Let it all go and just let those legs extend to the corners of the mat or let the soles of the feet rest to the edges of the mat as the knees collide to center. You're just here for a few inhales and exhales just to decompress the body. to give gratitude for the time that you carved out for yourself today. The ability to be present, and the ability to let go. Letting yourself either remain here for a few more moments, or if you're ready to begin and lift and rise up, you can walk your feet towards one another or bending those knees. We'll roll over to one side, right side preferably, but it can be the left. And then let yourself lift up into a comfortable seat. As you find your way into a comfortable seat, we'll draw a breath in with our eyes closed. And you'll exhale. Let that breath go. Maybe fold the heart forward, noticing what's going on with the lower portion of your back as well as those hips. Thank you for joining me today. It's truly been an honor and a pleasure. May you each have a wonderful day. From my heart to yours, namaste. All right. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm assuming that you didn't run the Austin Marathon. So while you're here, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to